Hi, it's Joy, and today you're watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Season 1, Episode 6, One World, One People, which is Karli's very good aim and terrible execution. I am so excited and scared for this finale. I have no idea whether we can expect like a cliffhanger in a Season 2. I feel like it's probably going to round off, but we could still have more adventures with them, although who knows if Sam is still going to want to be called the Falcon. Honestly, this show has been phenomenal. It has just, I have loved every second of it. I have loved that we've had the slower episodes in which we just get to delve into these characters and where their head's at and how the world around them is shaping them and being shaped by what they're up to. And then we've had the action episodes, and now we're up to the finale, and it's going to be a lot. Given where it was left, it's going to be a lot. I did see the end credit scene last week, but unfortunately, when I was filming my reaction, I was like, oh, is there an end credit scene? And I looked for it, and I was like, oh, I don't see one. Okay. And then obviously I found out that there was one, so I have seen it, of course, but I didn't film my reaction to it. And yeah, he's made himself his own Captain America shield. Like, just get your own identity, mate. I am excited, I am scared. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon. And let's get back to Bucky and Sam. I say Backy. Is that their friendship name? No, of course it's not, because you have to, I don't know. Let's go. These people aren't guilty of being, they're not monsters. They might be corrupt, I don't know the politics of it all. It's me. Please be the Sharon we know and love. Oh, they have a plan, herding them all to a certain place. This gas is just to get them where they want them. Oh my god, yes! Oh my god! Yes! That's everything I wanted it to be! He's still got the Falcon wings, but he's Captain America. This is literally everything. Yes, Bucky designing this, or telling them to make this.
Captain America. I thought Captain America was on the moon.
I just realised he said he thought he was on the moon. Oh, get over it!
It's Karli.
Oh god.
I'm fighting for something bigger than myself.
In the complete wrong way!
Have you ever been able to say this?
But she's delaying Bucky.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad you took my call. You've been a big help.
Oh. They're too good because they're trying to get through to her still, get her to turn herself in, stand down.
Seriously, Bucky, you had one job.
You worry about your life.
Okay. I mean, she just killed him, right?
Mercury vapor.
I'm still like, I love this so much. I mean, all of Sam's suit. He's like, look, I do not have time for you right now. So I don't know how I said the word time just then.
Worst case scenario, we kill the hostages.
Oh good. More senseless death.
Negotiate to stop that vote. One world. One people.
Not everyone is quite as ideological. They're not as radicalized as you think they are. Oof. Oh my god. Sam has well and truly proved himself as Captain America, even if he shouldn't have needed to. He's already the Falcon and amazing. If anyone tries to talk shit about being Captain America now... Oh!
We need a diversion. Give him someone to rescue. What do you mean? Light it up.
Oh my god. You really think you're the good guys in this story when your words are, give him someone to rescue, like, oh, let's appeal to his good nature. Oh my god, Walker! But also, setting a thing on fire will not get through to Walker in the slightest, because he does not have the same morals. Oh, yep. You're a hero. Your inner nature is good and true and heroic, and I love you.
Thank you for saving us.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh, God. I love them all so much. By them all, I do mean Bucky and Sam. Two of them, but hey. Yes! Grab the controller. Charlie. Good, 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 good. You've got it. You've got it. You've got this. You've got this. You've got this. Everyday heroes. You have this. Yes. Arrest these people. Can you do something heroic? You've got to make a choice here, John. I don't like you, but I don't think you're an evil man. You can choose to try and save the people or stop Karli, which is what she's sort of done. Finally! A choice that was forced upon you, but you made the right call. Good job. Go get therapy and just accept your life as a civilian. He did the right thing. Alright, Bucky, can you catch it? Or is Sam here? Yes! I was trying to look at how Bucky could catch it from the ground without the force being too much. But yes, Sam! Yes, Sam! I'm so emotional about this! I'm so emotional right now. Well, fuck off, Karli!
People bought into that bullshit.
I'm trying something different. Maybe you should do the same.
Yeah!
Drop your weapon, Karli.
Oh, goodness.
I said drop it. I took you in, gave you an opportunity,
Told you.
and you betrayed me.
She's the power breaker. I told you.
I wanted to change it. We can make a difference together.
She does no more serum.
Muscle back.
Yep.
Without our super soldiers, how much power does a power broker really have?
I was right.
More than you.
Sharon, you disappoint me.
Je vais dire au monde entier qui tu es vraiment. Okay?
I think you're dead. Sharon doesn't have morals. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh. Karli. Nope. You need to turn yourself in and face justice for what you did.
Mercy bears richer fruit than strict justice. It's a great app.
Good! I'm glad Walker's somewhat seeing sense, but he still needs to go to fucking therapy and counselling. Good job, Bucky. This was the right call. Now come on, Karli. Just stand down, you've lost. What's this gonna achieve? Is this who you want to be, Karli? You should have stood down 1,000 times, and now no one's gonna know she's the power broker. Done a lot of terrible things. She deserved prison, not death. She brought... I mean, I don't feel great that she's dead, but she should have stood down 1,000 times tonight. And Sharon probably could have just... I wonder what Sam's gonna think, because I feel as though Sharon... I know that when someone's threatening someone else to shoot them, you kind of are like law enforcement trained to take the killer blow. But part of me feels like Sharon could have just disabled her rather than kill. I love you, Sam.
Thank you so much. From all
No.
Sincerely.
Now do your fucking job and deal with everyone, not just the people that came back.
Still going forward with what do you think those people
Sam is doing this his way. I love it.
these labels to feel how hard any given day is? Now you know. How did it feel to be helpless?
Oh, Sam, I love you.
If you could remember what it was like to be helpless, this isn't about easy decisions,
Captain America.
You don't understand. I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand?
I love you, Sam. It's not justice for him, but
The only power I have is that I believe we can do better.
Captain America should.
Demand that people step up. Who's in the room with you when you're making those decisions?
She's so proud of her brother.
Look, you people have just as much power as an insane god or a misguided teenager. How are you going to use it?
Sam, I love you. He is truly taking on the mantle of Captain America and not making it Steve's legacy, not kind of trying to do anything like that, but he's making it his legacy. He's doing it his way, and I'm so proud of him. And Steve would be so proud of him.
So all I heard was the black guy in stars and stripes.
I love them so much.
Nice job, kid.
Oh my God, okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. They don't know that she's the power broker.
Flag smasher that fell into the Hudson. He's hurt, but not down. Can you help?
Always.
Oh, I love this so much because he's just Cap and he's earned it. And he earned it 1,000 times over, but he's the right kind of person to be Cap and I'm fucking emotional about it. Yes!
One world, one people.
Oh no, really? Oh, him. So he's content now.
We're gonna need a U.S. agent. Keep your phone out.
Walker, you're going to continue to frustrate me, aren't you? Because you made the right choice at one point today, but you also made a lot of wrong choices. And you killed an innocent man. You shouldn't have any kind of power. She's only interested in you because you took the serum. And okay, screw Walker, this is the moment that I've been emotionally trying to prepare myself for.
About your son. My Winter Soldier. And that was me. I didn't have a choice.
That will be the hardest thing you ever do, but it needed to be done. That man needed the closure. He's done the work. Oh, I love you.
Black Captain America, huh?
Damn right. We built this country. Bled for it. I'm not gonna let anybody tell me I can't fight for it. Not after what everybody before me went through, including you.
I love this. Oh,
Now they'll never forget.
good.
For this country.
No one should ever forget it. This is literally everything I need. Happy, uplifting. Oh yes, he's part of the family now. She's Bucky. He's just had so much healing as well, and Sam. And, like, I love this. I love them so much. Yes. Sorry, literally, I'm a mess. That was everything in so many ways.
It would be my honor.
Oh, she's gonna be a villain now. Maybe season 2's villain. Sharon! Sharon! So by the end of season 2 is Sharon as the main villain, right? Okay, that episode. This show, it was just everything that episode encapsulated everything that made this show special. I'm going to start with Sharon just because I want to really dedicate a lot of time to Bucky and Sam. Sharon, I was right, she's the power broker. And like, it didn't make me happy to have that as a theory from the first episode we saw her, but it made sense because she is someone with the skill set, you know, that would transfer into becoming a very, very skilled bad guy. And she was someone that, like, she was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. She believed in S.H.I.E.L.D. She did everything for S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. turned out to be Hydra. Now that does do a huge thing to your psyche to realise that day in, day out, you have been sharing office space, working alongside Hydra agents, people with this terrible ideology. You can see how it would warp her mind, how it would potentially set her at the beginning of the path. But she stayed loyal, she stayed true. Despite that, she fought alongside Steve, she did the right thing, she risked her life. She joined the CIA only to, despite every single thing she'd ever done for this country, the fact that she worked with Captain America, gave him the shield, meant that she had to go on the run as a villain. Her name was put aside as nothing. She had nothing. And, you know, she could either turn herself in and go to prison or go on the run. And you can definitely see how she very much could have the loss of everything. The fact that, you know, because of all the stuff that was going on, I mean, admittedly, Steve was on the run the whole time. The only time he really could have maybe seen to getting her pardoned would have been during the 5 years in between Infinity War and Endgame, and he didn't. And I'm guessing it's because maybe that they couldn't find her. They probably, I think actually her face showed up as one of the disappeared, didn't it? In Endgame. Now that I think about it, I think her face was one of the ones. So either she did vanish for 5 years, or more realistically, they thought she had vanished. They thought that they couldn't track her down. There was no evidence of where she was. So they assumed she was one of the people that was gone. So Steve therefore didn't work on getting her pardoned because there were bigger fish to fry and she just wasn't around. We were either going to save everybody or there was no chance. So, you know, you can kind of understand why that happened. But to an extent, you can see how she would see it as she was failed by her country despite all the service she did. The country that was able to pardon them didn't just put a retroactive pardon on every single person involved in it. You know, she was too, because she was a side character, a small part in the process, she was too insignificant to get a pardon, to count in the grand scheme of things, and they forgot her. I don't believe that Steve would have forgotten her, but I think, you know, even after Endgame, before he went back to marry her aunt, he could have got her a pardon then, but I think perhaps naively Steve probably would have assumed that she just had the pardon. You know, I don't know that he didn't look into it, but he probably could have done more for her. He probably could have been there for her more, but I assume he would have just thought she would be fine, rather than, and that like other people would obviously get that for her. And I think it's interesting. It's an interesting way because a lot of us have been like I mean, the reactions to him being with Peggy's niece, great niece, whatever, were always like, really? I mean, I could have liked them together, but like the family relationship was weird. But the fact that he like kind of kissed her a few times, then just left her and went back to her aunt, I like that they were kind of like messing around with the concept of that. But I just think, regardless of all of that, I'm not blaming Steve for all of this. I think perhaps that is a failure that he had. He could have, you know, made sure she was okay before he went back, rather than just assuming she would be. But I think you can definitely see with Sharon that she is someone that has had these ideals, and then she's been let down by them. And when you're let down by them, it is very easy to think, okay, well, what was I standing for? All that stuff, of the service I did, the sacrifices I made. I mean, becoming like a special agent in the way she was, you don't get the ordinary family life. You don't have a 9-to-5 job, a family, a husband and 2 kids, you know, or a wife and 2 kids. I don't know what Sharon might be interested in the long run. She just, you can see how you would get warped into becoming someone that thinks, screw it, everyone's only in it for themselves, so am I. And I definitely think that when she first became like the power broker, I don't think she would have been like shooting people willy-nilly. I think she would have been a little bit more, had a few more morals, just done some. But the longer she was in that life, the easier it became, the more she realised that she could get freaking rich and have a nice quality of life. Screw the government. So you can understand how she gets there. And I don't think it disrupts Peggy's legacy in the slightest, because Peggy is Peggy. You know, that is totally separate. But it does show you how even a good person with the right circumstances can be pushed into becoming a bad person. And that is something that this show has been dealing with both Karli and John Walker. They are two sides of the same coin, in the sense that neither of them went into their lines of work or what they were up to with bad ideals. I truly do believe John Walker joined the military wanting to do good. Now, I believe that when he was in the military, he maybe did some things that were not good from what he said, but that was his motivation. Karli saw a wrong that was being done to her and others and wanted to fix it. The problem with Karli was always the fact that she was killing people and her methods. I get the peaceful protest doesn't really do much, but the minute you start killing people, you get labelled as a terrorist because she was being a terrorist. And then your message, your movement, is just all that crazy terrorist ideologies. And you'll be like, it's even worse for the people you're trying to protect. Whereas if you just do peaceful protests, organise a sit-in, you know, get on the media, get the Falcon to go and give a speech in favour of you. Obviously now it's Captain America, but right at the beginning when he was Falcon. You know, there are people, there are peaceful ways to get the same message across. There are a lot of these displaced people, a lot of people that agree with her. Imagine if across the globe there were giant sit-ins. Like, you could do peaceful protests and still get, eventually, it would take longer to get noticed, but you'd actually get somewhere. You know, at the end, Sam just made an appeal to people. on their goodness, on not wanting to become an evil supervillain. And I also love, actually I'll finish with Carly and I'll get to Sam, and that she just lost herself to her ideology. Even in this one episode, there were many times she could have stood down, even just retreated, and accepted her loss, but she didn't. There are still people that believe in her ideology, like the guy that was like one people, but then maybe he was actually working for Zemo, I don't know. So Carly, I wish she had, you know, I wish Sharon wasn't evil or a villain, and therefore she could have just shot her in the arm or the leg, or done something which meant that she dropped the gun and therefore could not shoot Sam, and save Sam and Carly, and that Carly was now doing a prison sentence, because I think she wasn't a bad, evil person. She became a bad person, but she wasn't like, so I don't ever believe bad guys deserve to die. I can kind of, you know, I can see why there is justification for shooting her in that moment, because she was holding a gun to Sam's head. You know, like, I don't hate on Sharon for killing her, but at the same time I sort of wish she was in prison facing justice for what she did. Now, I think a message I really enjoyed was when Sam was saying, like, you have as much power as a crazed god who wiped out half of the population. Because it's true, governments and corporations can destroy just as many lives as crazy supervillains. And that is something that I've really enjoyed with this show, is that they've kind of showed the lower ground levels of how things are affected, the ordinary people being affected and rising up, or the ordinary people being affected and being squashed by the governments just as much. And I think that speech was so powerful because it showed you that in our real world, our governments are, you know, if you look at the American healthcare system, like gun control laws, from the way they've handled the COVID crisis in the UK and in other countries, governments and the people in power are our supervillains, or have the capability to become our supervillains if they act for their own selfish greed. Yes. The Tory government, if you may look at how many of their own fucking donors they give, I'm not getting into that, fuck the Tories. I like that message that kind of, it's on us as well to be the hero or the villain, to try and stand up for what's good and to recognise the villains. It's not just a superhero thing. I really did enjoy that. Now onto Walker. I think it is interesting that he's basically just getting away scot-free with murdering a man in broad day. I mean, okay, I get that he was less than honourably discharged, has lost his pension, etc. I know people have said that Val is Madame Hydra, but then someone else was like, oh, that's only a really small part of her character, she's actually a much bigger character. I don't trust her. I don't like her. I think she's going to be a really interesting character, do not get me wrong. Like, I find her, like, she's fascinating and I'm so excited to get to know more, but I don't think she's good news. And making him into US agent is almost like, I like it more than him being Captain America, because there's none of that legacy. Captain America stands for, as I've seen people say, Captain America stands for what we believe in, for what America wants to be. Captain America pushes you to be better than you are, inspires you to be better. Sam encapsulates that perfectly. Sam is, just Sam. I will get to Sam. US agent, all in sort of black clothes, and seems to, I don't know, I feel like he's like, sort of the blackness of that outfit reminds me of like Black Sight and her black card. I feel like it's low-handed tactics. It's making the grey decisions because you have to, instead of like trying to do the right thing. I personally think Walker should be facing some kind of prison time for murdering a man in broad daylight. But him becoming Black Agent, I'm very intrigued as to whether that is... She seems as though she's not like with Hydra or something, that she's just part of a super secret government organisation. Maybe she's even going to be like a high-ranking sword person or something. I don't know. But him being like a... willing to test his morals, I do feel as though in the future we're going to have Sam and Bucky trying to do the right thing, Walker being like, we could do the right thing or we could do the easy thing and just blow up that building. But I do think that a good sign with Walker that he hasn't totally lost it was that when it came down to the moment, he chose stopping the van falling over going after Karli. That was one positive tick that maybe there is hope for him. And, you know, I don't hate him and I never have, but what he did was so wrong. And then he nearly killed Sam multiple times in the fight they had afterwards because Sam doesn't have super strength. And he almost almost killed Bucky even in that fight, even though Bucky does have super strength. Like, what he needs is not to be given a mantle of power and authority, but instead to maybe be given a prison sentence in like a psychiatric for the criminally insane type facility, I don't know, and have a lot of therapy to deal with whatever he did in his tours of duty that he's not feeling great about, and what happened with his friend, and the fact that he murdered a man. That's what he needs. He doesn't need someone fluffing up his ego all the time. So I think it's going to be interesting with Walker going through, because he is kind of like Karli, kind of like Sharon. He is yet another person that went into this life with good ideals, wanted to do good, and has ended up in a less than good place as a result, and has less than good morals. But we've seen that there is hope for him. We've just got to cross everything that he is going to ultimately, if he's given an order that he doesn't agree with, that he will choose to do the right thing. He's going to be an interesting character to watch. I do want to say that the actor has done a phenomenal job. Anytime I've been hating on John Walker, it is because he's been doing him so well. Like, the smarmy wink at the beginning was just so perfect, because I was like, I hate it. So yeah, Walker is not evil, but his moral compass is askew, and I'm scared. I'm glad that the council is not going to be forcing the settlements and everything, that they're going to try and do what's best for everybody. It's how it should be. I mean, there needs to be a line drawn between the two, you know. Maybe the people that... Maybe you should get your family home back if you've been brought back, but the people who've been living in it for the past 5 years should be given a home of equal value. And they can make that work. We have billionaires that exist. We can make that work. But okay, so on to Bucky and Sam. I will start with Bucky. This series, Bucky as a character has meant everything to me ever since. I love his friendship with Steve. They are brothers. I have nothing against people that ship them. I personally think that, like, we didn't really ever see anything shippy, so I kind of just have it as like they are brothers. But from the moment he fell from that train car, I remember sitting in the cinema. I remember I was on a holiday in Australia with my best friend Kate, and we were the only two people in this cinema. And we went to see Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Not the Winter Soldier, of course, First Avenger. And when he fell from that car, I just remember being, like, stunned. Like, that did not just happen. And then when he was the Winter Soldier, and the thought of everything he's been through. What I have loved is, over the course of the movies, we saw him gain his own autonomy back. We saw him fight for the right causes. We saw him get to reunite with Steve. But I feel like throughout this series, we've seen Bucky truly come back. And that is the carefree, charming, funny guy that he was in the first Avenger. Now, he'll never be exactly the same, because none of us are. Our experiences through life change us. But what makes me really fucking emotional is that he's lighter. He feels like the weight isn't on his shoulders as much. Yeah, he's never going to feel totally like, oh yeah, my past was great, because of course it wasn't. He's always going to carry guilt to a degree, because he remembers things, and it was him, even though he didn't want to. He had no choice, as he said. And I think, yeah, he's never going to be fully free of that, but he is so much freer now than he was. He is himself again. He's playing with kids and being part of Sam's family, and just being open with Sam, and free and happy. And just, Sebastian Stan has done a phenomenal job of showing this, by the way. Like, from the initial Bucky to the Winter Soldier to this. Like, I'm in awe of his character and how strong he is to have got through everything he did. And the fact that he has finished his book. I still think maybe he could do with a little bit more therapy. I don't think it's, like, done. I think potentially, I'm a believer that everyone should be in therapy to an extent, even if it's like once every 6 months or something, as like a top up. But I'm so proud of him. Having a conversation like that with a man you respect and you care about, and telling him, I killed your son. Like, I didn't have a choice. If I could take it back, I would. Knowing that, like, you're not going to be in his life again, but just kind of, I think, having that, knowing that that man could turn around and call you a monster, and, you know, just the vulnerability of telling someone that, hurting them in that way, but at the same time you're giving them closure. You're giving them answers to a question that they'll be asking forever. I think it's so important, and it shows just how strong and brave he is. But it gets me how proud I am of him, how excited I am to continue to watch him. I'm really hoping that the fact that at the end it came up Captain America and the Winter Soldier, as much as that was the name of a movie, I really hope that that's going to be season 2, or, you know, season 1 of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But, like, I really hope that that is telling us that we're going to get more of a TV show with them. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they were in movies, but I think the best thing about TV shows is that you get more time with these characters. Downtime with them, action time with them. You just get to spend more time with them. So I'm really hoping that that was their way of telling us that we're going to get to see another series. And I think they've set it up well with US Agent. We've got potentially Flag Smashers around, but anyway, Sharon, like, there's so much going on. But Bucky is himself as much as he can ever be, but he is just so himself again, and that makes me so happy. He is just hanging out with Sam, playing with him, and the fact, playing with the kids, the fact that he, like, the end of the last episode, I was like, is it Falcon wings with Captain America on it? Is it Captain America's suit? And then part of me was like, could it be both? But I was like, no. The fact that he said to the Wakandans, look, I believe in Sam. I know his reservations, I know his problems, but I believe that he wants to do it, and I believe that he can do it. And he is Falcon, but he can take those skills and make them Captain America. That suit was everything, and the fact that Bucky got them to design it for him and send it, like, gave it to Sam, like, literally killed me. It was everything. For him to say, I believe in you, I respect you, I respect that you are going to make this your own legacy, because it looks different to Steve's suit. It's different, like, designed and everything. It's kind of like, this is your chance to be Captain America and do it your way. Being Captain America means something different for you than it did for Steve. I love that so much. Seeing Sam in that suit is literally everything. I really want to use a thumbnail of me freaking out. I imagine I freaked out with Sam in the suit. I'm probably not going to, just because I don't want anyone who hasn't got to the end of the season to see a spoiler. I try to, if there are huge spoilers on a show that's just airing now, to not include them in my thumbnails. Sometimes it can't be helped, but I try and, like, if it's like a scene in which you can't quite tell what's going on, I'll use it. But I feel like Sam in the suit is quite noticeable, so that's not my thumbnail, even though I really want it to be. I don't know what my thumbnail will be. Potentially Bucky's face while Sam was giving the speech, or hopefully something with the two of them in it. But Sam has gone on this journey with, I really think for him this season, it's been reckoning with what it means to fight for a country that doesn't necessarily respect you or treat you well. What it means to have the legacy of Captain America doesn't just mean being Steve 2.0. It doesn't mean doing everything Steve would have done, exactly how Steve would have done it. It just means being true to yourself, being true to the people that you care about and to the country you're representing. And I think Steve would be so emotional and so proud of Sam seeing this. I think Bucky giving him as well, like, not only did Steve give him the shield, Bucky gave him the suit. I think that showed you that, like, someone that was so close to Steve believes in you too will mean a lot. But this is his legacy now, and it's Isaiah Bradley's legacy, and it's Steve's legacy. You know, there is so much more to it than just one man and one suit. And Sam has really, you know, he's gone from kind of thinking, oh, you know, the bank will give us the money because it's the right thing to do, and then being like, oh no, sorry, we can't. He's really, like, he's pulled together with his community, with the people that they care about them, with Bucky, with all the people to fix up the boat, and now his family, their family business, their family personal history and legacy is sailing again. He has got his BFF back with Bucky. I don't know, they bonded a lot. But for Sam as a person, he's really reckoned with, America won't accept me because I'm black. I don't know, it's Steve's legacy, I can't. To, maybe America won't accept me, but they're gonna fucking have to deal with it because I am Captain America. I represent this country. Sam has fought for this country above and beyond. He has proven himself worthy of being Captain America time and again, but I love him saying, I'm going to work for this, I'm going to earn it, and I'm going to do it right. It means everything. And just seeing him in the suit, saving people, being cheered on, the fact that, like, that's Captain America, and just Bucky calling him Cap, the random guy calling him Cap, I think it's going to mean the world. And there's no reason why someone who isn't blonde hair, blue eyes couldn't be Captain America. Obviously in the 40s they were very racist, but now, and like, Steve was very much worthy of it. Sam, it has what's in it. If Steve could see it in him, we can all see it in him. And I believe that speech he gave, if anyone had any doubts that he could be Captain America, they don't anymore. And I think my favourite thing is that his first actions, above and beyond saving everybody, were that he took the time. He called out inequality where he saw it. He called out injustice where he saw it. Because Captain America isn't a yes sir, no sir. Oh, sorry, Americans do this thing, don't they? Yes sir, no sir. Captain America, he is making it. I mean, I think Steve never just did what he was told all the time, as we know. He stood by his beliefs. But Sam stood up there in front of the reporters, and he could have been like, yes, I'm a black Captain America, hi. But instead, he just went to the GRC and said, look, what you're doing is wrong, and you know it. And that speech he gave was so inspirational, it was so important, it was everything. And he immediately showed that, yeah, I'm Captain America, deal with it, for one thing, to any of the haters out there. Because God knows, as there will be people out there hating him for existing and sad lives they live, but they will be out there. But him saying, I don't care, I am Captain America. But him living up to the ideal with his actions, with his words, seeing how proud Bucky was during it. I am so proud of Sam and the journey he has taken, because, you know, if in episode 1 he'd put on Captain America's suit and been, I'm Captain America, he would have been worthy. But I think he would have had the demons in his head. He wouldn't have known whether it was something he wanted to believe in, whether he could accept it, and it was everything. And I think the fact that, you know, he went to see Isaiah and he's made sure that Isaiah Bradley will not be forgotten, because he's in the museum now. Because he is a part of the legacy. It started with Captain America, it went to Isaiah, and now it's with Sam. I guess there'll be a little exhibit about John Walker murdering people. I don't know. We tend to whitewash the bad bits of history, or just whitewash history. But I love that he is keeping that legacy, that Isaiah Bradley will not be forgotten. Yes, it's too late to truly give him justice. It's too late you can't rewind the clock, give him back his freedom and his life and his family, but his memory will be there, his legacy will be there. He will not be forgotten. His sacrifice and what he gave and what was taken from him will never be forgotten, and that is so important. And seeing Isaiah's face was everything in that moment, and knowing that legacy, that Sam, he is Captain America and he is going to stand up for what is right. He kept his promise to Sharon, unfortunately, but no, he is just doing the right thing. He is not going to let inequality, if he sees inequality, he's going to call it out. He's not going to let it slip through the cracks, and I love that so much. And he just is Captain America in every way that counts. He's doing it his way, but he's doing it, you know, the right way, and it's everything Steve would have believed he could do. It's everything I wanted him to see and do, and I'm so excited to see him going forwards as Captain America with the Winter Soldier by his side. Although I feel like maybe Bucky could pick a new name, right? I mean, I know they call him like Sergeant Barnes, but maybe, I don't know what name, but unless he wants to like reclaim the Winter Soldier like as him. But I think if Bucky were told that this show had been calling him the Winter Soldier the whole time, he'd be a little bit upset about it. So maybe we can give him a new name. I don't know what name, but I love that they are best friends, that they're a duo. They'll probably say they hate each other because, you know, it's what they're like. This show is literally everything. I am so emotional. It was perfect. Seeing Sam's evolution, becoming comfortable with being Captain America and making it his own is everything. Seeing Bucky continue the process of actually healing from his trauma. The fact that they gave us the time to see him, they even showed us him the moment he was confident. He knew he'd broken free from the hold, but they let us see that is everything. And seeing their bond grow from being kind of at the beginning, they cared about each other, but they were very much just two guys who had a mutual best friend. And now they are best friends, and it's everything. I really hope we get a season 2 of this show, and I really hope we see them in movies. I need everything. This was phenomenal. I don't know if I've missed things because I feel like so much happened. It was absolutely a fantastic finale. I love this show. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of all of this reactions to Falcon and the Winter Soldier and all of WandaVision on my Patreon. And thank you so much for watching.